From biting incidents to horror tackles, these are the 20 most brutal fouls in football history. Warning, watch at your own risk. We are all aware of Luis Suarez's infamous biting accidents. The man sure knows how to leave his mark, quite literally. But did you know that he bit players not once, not twice, but thrice? Suarez has taken a taste of his opponents. During his time with Ajax, Suarez sank his teeth into the collarbone of PSV Eindhoven midfielder Otman Bakal.
Omdat hij in de arena tegenstander Otman Bakal in zijn hals beet.
Despite receiving a red card, Suarez denied any wrongdoings. Eventually, he publicly apologized for his actions. As if that's not enough, during a Premier League match between Liverpool and Chelsea, Suarez clashed with Chelsea defender Branislav Ivanovic's arm once again.
Look at that.
It seems as if Luis Suarez's primal instincts kicked in and grabbed the player's hand and decided to bite it. The Football Association was not happy with this and gave Suarez a retrospective ban. The third incident occurred during the 2014 World Cup. In front of the whole world, Suarez leaned towards the Italian defender Giorgio Chiellini and bit his shoulder.
Cavani, ha habido una caída en el interior del área. Vamos a ver qué pite el árbitro. Vamos a ver qué pite el árbitro.
This incident resulted in Suarez receiving a lengthy ban. Why would you bite someone, and why did he do it 3 times? Is this guy a secret vampire or something? If you think the Luis Suarez incident is outrageous, certainly it's not as bad as Eric Cantona's kung fu kick to a fan. He was at the height of his power. During a Premier League match in 1995, playing for Manchester United against Crystal Palace, Cantona found himself on the receiving end of some harsh challenges. Cantona decided to be judge, jury, and executioner. He executed a kung fu kick directed at a taunting Crystal Palace fan, Matthew Simmons. With a kung fu kick like that, he can be a member of the Karate Kid crew. Cantona revealed that he had no regrets kicking the fan, despite receiving a 9-month ban. If you think Cantona's kick was brutal, look at Zlatan Ibrahimovic's karate kick, who, as we know, is a holder of a Taekwondo black belt. In PSG's 2-1 loss to Saint-Etienne, Zlatan Ibrahimovic turned his boots of fury on the opposing goalkeeper.
He needs to come off his line. It was there to be won, but the score was very high.
In an attempt to equalize the scores. In the chronicles of Kung Fu kicks, in a match between Bayern Munich and Ajax, Müller is known for his tenacity and relentless pursuit of the ball. In the process, as Tagliafico received the ball, Müller launched himself into the air, aiming for Tagliafico's head like a guided missile. What was Müller thinking? Did he confuse the ball with Tagliafico's head? He immediately got a red card after. Oh, how could we forget the clash between Roy Keane and Alf Inge Haaland, father of the famous Erling Haaland. In a Manchester derby, a clash of the Titans in 2001, Roy Keane decided to unleash his inner Hulk and gave Haaland a tackle for the ages. And boy, Keane did bring the theatrics. So the next time life throws a challenge your way, don't be afraid to channel your inner Roy Keane. Just remember to keep it legal on the field of life, and maybe save the wrestling moves for a more appropriate venue. And maybe don't be reckless like this player in our next video. Oh, let's talk about Pepe, the master of, let's just say, aggressive defending. When it comes to memorable fouls, he has certainly left his mark, or should we say, stamped his mark on the field. And his encounter with Getafe players was no exception. In a match between Real Madrid, Pepe takes his defending to a whole new level.
Pepe le empuja y paga la frustración del penalti con esta doble patada, 1 y 2.
As Francisco Casquero approaches to score, Pepe pushes him to a fall, and as if that's not enough, he even kicks him while he's on the ground. During a Merseyside derby, this happened.
Ojo con lo que sucede entre Pickford, el guardameta.
This collision injured the Liverpool defender's knee, which required surgery. What really was ridiculous is the fact that Michael Owens, the referee at that time, did not give Pickford a red card despite the thrilling tackle. Still, in Liverpool's case, Mohamed Salah got into an entanglement with Sergio Ramos.
بين الفريقين على مدى الشوطين. ليفربول possession.
Ramos locks onto Salah's hand and slams him to the ground. Salah injures his shoulder, and this forces him to a tearful cry. Ramos admits that he had no malicious intention, but till then, I don't think Salah has ever forgiven him. During a match between Arsenal and Birmingham City, Eduardo's career took an unfortunate turn from a nasty tackle from Martin Taylor that left him in a crumpled heap.
Eduardo into space. Tackled by Taylor, who showed studs.
The footage was so harrowing that more than 14 years on, it's something which the ex-Croatia international still can't bring himself to view. Similar to the Eduardo da Silva incident, on the 27th of February 2010, a reckless challenge saw Ramsey suffer fractures in both the fibula and tibia of his right leg.
Shaw cross. Challenge.
Courtesy of Ryan No Malice Shawcross. The incident damaged Shawcross's reputation and threatened Ramsey's career. In this piece, we look at the respective trajectories of their careers since that fateful day. But let's not forget the resilience of our heroes. Ramsey, despite his unexpected gymnastics routine, bounced back stronger than ever. This is another shocking tackle that ruined a football player's career. In 2006, this happened.
Diaby.
This tackle did not even receive a red card and still remains a disgrace to this day. He was technically sublime and produced some special moments in Arsenal colors, but Diaby was constantly hampered by injuries throughout his career, and this was nothing new to him. Who could forget the clash between Zinedine Zidane and Marco Materazzi in the 2006 World Cup final? In a match full of tension and high stakes, Zidane decided to unleash his inner bull and aimed his noggin straight at Materazzi's chest. The audacity! The sheer audacity! Was it an act of frustration? Did Materazzi say something about Zidane's hair? We may never know the full story, but one thing's for sure, it became the highlight of that final. What's even more brutal is in this match between West Germany versus France, which was one of the most dramatic matches in FIFA World Cup history, amidst the chaos was one rash moment that is forever remembered as one of the most shocking challenges on a football pitch. Having only been on the field for 10 minutes, Patrick Patterson was stretchered off in this brutal collision, which would leave him missing teeth and suffering a concussion. Schumacher, on the other hand, took his goal kick and play resumed. What? How? Talking about crazy tackles, this match, also known as the Battle of Bramall Lane, the epic showdown between Sheffield United and West Bromwich Albion in the 2001-02 season, was abandoned after the Blades had 3 players sent off. George Santos, a player from Sheffield United who previously had a brawl that left George injured in his eye socket, he decided it was time to settle the score with Johnson from West Bromwich Albion. He launches at Johnson like a rocket, which leaves Johnson hurtling through the air like a rag doll caught in a whirlwind. Feyenoord's midfielder crocs Dennis Irwin with a dreadful foul in the Champions League. As he leaves the pitch, Ferguson tells him, "You scumbag! You ratbag! You dirty bastard!" There is arguably not a more famous foul in finals history than the one Benjamin Massing effected on Caniggia. Here,
he's hurtled past one, he's got past another in the last minute of this game. In goes Massing, and he won't get past that challenge.
The flying Caniggia evades 2 green shirts, but then splat! The haulage truck, aka Massing, flies into the frame and simply wipes him out. The impact is big as it leaves Massing's boot off his foot. The referee immediately sends him off. Dutch midfielder Nigel de Jong unleashes a kung fu kick on Xabi Alonso in the ribs during the World Cup final against Spain.
Positie in het elftal. En je kunt niets van zeggen.
Howard Webb, the referee at the time, gave de Jong a yellow card, but it should have been a straight red. If you think Nigel de Jong's kick was brutal, look at this foul Ben Thatcher did on Pedro Mendes.
There was a thunderous challenge there by Thatcher.
Amazingly, referee Dermot Gallagher only brandished a yellow card. This really cost Thatcher a whopping $100,000 and a suspension of 8 matches. On our second video, Axel Witsel was at the time a new signing at Borussia Dortmund when he committed a foul that he would come to regret the whole of his life. Vasilevsky, an Anderlecht defender, suffered a nasty double leg break, while Witsel received an 8-day suspension for the horror tackle and even death threats. In our final video, to get a nickname like the Butcher of Bilbao, you have to be one seriously hard knucklehead. Tough, crude, and brutal, Andoni Goicoechea was not a man you wanted to mess with, as Diego Maradona once found out. Maradona himself, meanwhile, compared the challenge to an axe blow. I just felt the impact, heard the sound like a piece of wood cracking, and realized immediately what had happened.